What's going on in the world? Well, a poster has been released for the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie. In other news, China bans iPhones, and we have a reaction to all the best trailers from the recent Video Game Awards. All that and more on today's Johnny Massacre show. I'm so back from the dead right now. Holy crap. I did 12 rounds of kickboxing on Saturday, and like the week before, I was fucked on Sunday and Monday. I couldn't do any exercise. I guess I just always overdo it, but man, I had an 11-hour sleep, and I feel like I'm coming back from the dead. So I'm going to hit the gym today and just fuck myself up again. Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie's coming apparently. Now, the original Mario movie by Nintendo was a notorious flop. It was fucking ridiculous. And so I think we should all be very wary about video game movies. But a lot of times past, I guess these video game companies are looking at Marvel and thinking, well, if they can sew together all these zany universes, why can't we? Hard to believe that there's really a Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming. This looks like an April Fool, and the picture is weird as fuck. Here we go. So that is the picture from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. To me, that looks incredibly creepy because he's got the head of a cartoon hedgehog but the body of a man. Really fucking weird. It looks kind of a little bit sexual in a way. What is this lump down here? I'm hoping that's just the back of his thigh. And this looks like a horror movie. So the tagline is a whole new speed of hero, which is just terrible. It's like they made that up within 10 seconds. And it's from the producer of Fast and the Furious. So this is a cocktail for disaster. I'm predicting this will be an epic fail. Let's read a little bit of this article on VG Charts anyways. It says the poster for the upcoming live-action Sonic the Hedgehog film has been released by IGN. The poster shows a silhouette of the hero in a more realistic way than what has been seen in the games. That was always stage one of adapting it to what the real world is and what a real animal would be like, said executive producer Tim Miller on giving Sonic fur. Okay. That is not what a real animal would be like, Mr. Miller. Anyways, he continues to say it would be weird and it would feel like he was running around nude if he was some sort of otter-like thing. What are you talking about? It was always for us, fur, and we never considered anything different. It's part of what integrates him into the real world and makes him a real creature. I'm really confused now because it sounds like they're trying to make him into a human, but then they're justifying putting fur on him. Again, this is going to fail. Producer Neil Morris added, we looked at every different variation of what shoes he's worn, and we're trying to pay homage to that and also make it current and present day and what we think a Sonic of today would wear. So it seems like these people are really not very clear on what their idea is. It sounds like they want to make him look human and they want to make him look like an animal, and they're sitting on the fence. And so we've come up with this half-baked bullshit that looks like a creepy sexual hedgehogian predator. So fucking hell, this is really going to be something, this movie. Apparently it's due to hit theaters in the US on November the 8th 2019, and November the 28th in Australia, and in the UK on December the 26th. Japan will probably be 2020 July, because we're completely fucking retarded out here when it comes to releasing movies on time. In other news, China has banned iPhones. So I'm just going to whiz through this before we get to the fun part of today's show, which is looking at all the video games and stuff which have recently released trailers for the Video Game Awards. And this is massive news. Just have a quick look on CNN, crappy news network. They say China bans most iPhone sales after granting Qualcomm an injunction against Apple. A Chinese court has banned the sale and import of most iPhone models in a stunning decision to escalate the nasty trade war between the United States and China. The ban does not cover the new iPhone XS, iPhone XS Plus, or iPhone XR, which were not yet available when Qualcomm filed its lawsuit. The phones covered by the ban make up about 10% to 15% of current iPhone sales in China, according to Daniel Ives. Okay, so that's not as big news as the clickbaity headline made it out to be. The headline just says it bans iPhone sales, so it looks like they're going to ban all iPhones, but they're not banning the new models, and that's all people buy, so I'm sure it's not going to have too much of an effect. But if they really did ban iPhones, it would fuck up their country, because iPhones make up a big part of every economy. It's one of the most popular capitalist items known to man, so there's no way that China would do that. Okay, now on to the fun stuff. So there were Game Awards 2018 a few days ago, whatever that is. I couldn't care less. What I do care about is the fact that various trailers have come out for new games, and some of them are original. Can you believe it? We're not talking Call of Duty 25, FIFA 100 and what have you. We are talking brand new content. So I've already watched some of these trailers, and I'm just going to play the best ones. First up, on cnet.com, we've got Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Not too keen on that. It's a bit of a half-baked RPG kind of game. Haven't really played it. Don't be triggered, but it just doesn't appeal to me. The characters are a bit too shiny and chunky, and it looks a bit half-assed. So, okay, Far Cry New Dawn. Let's watch this together. So, this game starts off with a nuke. It's all gone titties up right from the get-go. And as you can see, the graphics are kind of tasty, kind of delicious. Loving that field.
The bombs dropped.
Just looks brilliant. So this is basically what seems to be a kind of Mad Max ripoff. Now, my social justice radar was beeping at me a little bit because we've got two female minority characters leading it. But I don't think this is social justice shit. Because if a woman is going to be a badass, they're not going to be some kind of insipid character like Rey from The Last Jedi. They're going to be fucked up, grimy and dirty. And the two characters you're about to see actually kind of fit that mold which you'd want for a female lead. So these people attacking include the two female characters. Actually, I shouldn't call them leads. They might be antagonists as opposed to protagonists, but here they are.
You need to understand something. The only currency left in this world is power. We're gonna take everything from you, starting with your home. And if we can't take it,
they look real fucked up. And I like those characters. A little bit masculine, as you would be if you were a kick-ass female. So, you know, the last game in the Just Cause series was marked down by various ideological, fanatical video game websites pushing politics. They actually said because they didn't put social justice themes in the game, they're going to mark it down. Why the fuck would you mark a game down for something not in the game? Unless it's a case of there not being enough levels or something. So there's a lot of pressure from Metacritic these days for developers to make their games all weird left-wing feminist shit piles. And so perhaps putting the two female leads in this game as anti-heroes is a way to slightly appease those journalists, but at the same time kind of subtly mock them and show you what a real woman would be like in such a role. But I don't know. Let's just hope social justice doesn't infect this game too much. This part in Shadow is a homage to Apocalypse Now, where Marlon Brando, the crazed kind of army chief, is stumbled upon by the protagonist, Mr. Sheen. And that's not the only movie that this game borrows from. Of course, Mad Max, as I've already mentioned, and probably a few others. So Far Cry New Dawn, available 15th of Feb next year. So that looks quite decent. I think you will probably agree. Next up, we've got Ancestors. This is a very, very bizarre looking game. Really, really piqued my interest. It's a game about evolution when you're playing as a monkey, just roaming around in prehistoric times. And, well, not quite prehistoric, but I think it's just, well, 10 million years ago. I'm not very good at history, but that sounds pretty prehistoric to me. Look, massive bird trying to attack you. There's your character, the monkey, swinging through the trees. I do wonder if they'll have some kind of Spider-Man mechanics where you can swing around and stuff. And a little bit far-fetched, there are snakes the size of houses who make up some of your enemies, as well as alligators and stuff. It's hard to say, really. I can't knock this because it's so fucking original. I've never seen anything like this, and anything original has to be applauded. There's far too many sequels in today's gaming industry. So it looks like there are hunting elements here, and there's some kind of tribal element. Now we're moving into the future to 3 million years before the present day, and you can see you're in a pack of monkeys, a band of brothers around you as you try to hunt for food. So I guess this looks like a survival game. Yeah, there's the name, Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. And coming 2019, that is something I'm really excited about. I'm going to try to support any original titles. Next up, we have got this game called Sayonara Wild Hearts. And I'm really into my crazy neon colors. You know, the whole Outrun art style that's kind of become a trend recently, or a few years, 3 or 4 years ago. Analogous to synthwave and vaporwave becoming popular as well. Well, that whole artistic world seems to be a form of inspiration for this game called Sayonara Wild Hearts, a crazy Japanese looking game. I absolutely love this art style. Can't wait to show this to you. This is the world premiere.
Here's a look.
Unfortunately, this knob, Jeff Keighley, has introduced it. I can't stand this guy. So here we are, Sayonara Wild Hearts for Nintendo Switch. This might make me buy Switch. Look at this. Japanese music is by and large absolute shit, but I think it kind of fits with this quirky, garish game. Got the neon vibes, crazy art design, 3-headed wolf type car that you're chasing there. Looks so high octane, a great sense of speed in this trailer. Just beautiful, eye-melting colours all over the place, very futuristic. Come on, you surely want to play this like me. Do you want to play this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is it just me? Am I just brainwashed by the wonderful colours? The whole style of it, the design is just top notch, man. The light and shadow is awesome as well. Oh, I guess it's a rhythm action game. Definitely based around music. Alright, so yeah, Sayonara Wild Hearts. We are ploughing through the trailers at a rapid rate now. Next up is Scavengers. Now, why is Scavengers significant? Because this is being overseen by one of the lead developers for the Halo series, albeit Halo Reach, which wasn't the best Halo. That was the game that fucked Halo up, really. It was good, but they put Run into the game. And before there was Run, the game was beautifully elegant, had a perfect balance and dynamic. And it didn't need a run, but they put a run into the game with Halo Reach to try to copy the shitty Call of Duty series. And they also put different abilities like armor lock and stuff and invisibility, which just didn't work. There was no equilibrium whatsoever. I remember when I first played Halo Reach, if you had the invisibility armor and you had a sniper, it was just unplayable. So they took it out the game, and there were loads of parts of that game that they removed from multiplayer. So they made a lot of mistakes, and the guy who oversaw that is making this game. He also oversaw Halo 4, which is a piece of shit, and he still ranks that as one of his best achievements. But anyways, that guy was involved with Halo, so that's of significance to me because I do like the Halo series, and he is behind this game called Scavengers. It's a survival first-person shooter, I believe. Unfortunately, we have to look at this tosser's face every time. It's a cheesy grin. Okay, here we are. World premiere. Scavengers. So flick it on a bit, shall we? Spatial OS is the technology behind this game. They should have put that at the end. That's a bit self-indulgent from the developers. But anyways, look. Lovely art style here. Great science fiction. Nice ship design there. Not your typical looking space hub. Blade Runner reference with the eye opening now. Aliens reference in the life stasis pod. You're going to see another Aliens reference with these corridors. That is taken directly from the Aliens movie, which is no bad thing to me. That's probably my favourite movie of all time. Definitely top 3. And I've always been desperate for a game with the Aliens brand in the vein of Halo. Halo was as close as we could get because that influenced the developers a lot. So I hope there's a lot more Aliens references in this movie. And this is all eye candy, really, so I'm not going to show you too much more because there's not much gameplay. This is quite meaningless. There are plenty of production companies that churn out these beautiful CGI videos that aren't necessarily too indicative of the final game, but you can see the art style, which is nice. Female protagonist again. I'm not going to knock it until I see the character be developed, but I am worried because a lot of female leads recently are the decision by social justice warriors and not people who actually necessarily want to make a good game, as evidenced by the Battlefield 5 debacle recently. So yeah, it's a teaser, but keep your eyes peeled for more footage from Scavengers. I am certainly looking forward to that, since it is behind one of the guys from the Halo series. Okay, next up we've got Mortal Kombat 11, another sequel, but I wasn't expecting much, and maybe I enjoyed this trailer because my expectations were so low. However, this was fucking awesome, and it's not really clear if these graphics are from the Xbox One X or PlayStation 4 Pro, and whether they're even in-game. There's a lot of nice camera angles. There's nothing actually from the traditional fighting game viewpoint, which is from the side, and you see both the characters face to face. So until we see that gameplay footage, we have to reserve judgment. But as an announced trailer, this is kind of mind-blowing. Here we are back in the Mortal Kombat universe. These graphics look... Surely these are just CGI and they're not from the game. If they are, then this is a buy on site. Maybe it's the PC version or something. But this appears to be Raiden. Unfortunately, they overlaid some very shitty hip-hop music. I should say hip-hop music, because all it's good for is cleaning up shit on the floor. But that's the only fail of this trailer, is the shitty music. But look at the violence. I mean, even just a regular punch, the blood is flying out of the guy's face, and now we've got this over-the-top gore, blade through the face. I'm not sure who this is. It looks like Scorpion, but I don't think it is Scorpion. I think it's a related character. So Raiden kicking Scorpion's ass. You're going to see something really grotesque now. Broke his finger, broke his leg. Seems to have broken pretty much every bone in his body now. And the exploding heads. Beautiful shower of gore. But it gets even better, people. This is the real Scorpion. Man, this hip-hop music sounds like it was recorded by a 12-year-old trying to make it sound like his voice was broken. Here we go, check this out. Scorpion burns through Raiden's body. I believe that's Raiden. Pops out his katana, beheads him, roundhouse kicks his face into the sky, and then pierces his face through the back of the head, coming out of the mouth with his spear on a chain. So, I mean, that was just a fucking awesome teaser for Mortal Kombat, but I don't think that is in-game footage. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. I'm happy to be proven wrong, because if that's from the game, that is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. In the information, this is actually from official Mortal Kombat account. It says that all new custom character variations give you unprecedented control to customize the fighters and make them your own. The new graphics engine, showcasing every skull-shattering, eye-popping moment, brings you so close to the fight you can feel it. And featuring a roster of new and returning classic fighters, Mortal Kombat's best in-class cinematic story mode continues the epic saga over 25 years in the making. Okay, so it says the new graphics engine showcasing. It doesn't say this is necessarily the new graphics engine, but it seems like it could be. All right, rambling now because I'm just so excited about that. It looks awesome. It's not the kind of game I'd usually buy, but I'm interested. I'm interested now. Okay, there is one more game I'd like to show you, and it's very, very bizarre and very original, I guess. And it's all about getting back to nature. So let's read this article on PCGamer.com, which I believe is an SJW screed, so be careful. I will call it out if I see it. They say Among Trees is a gorgeous sandbox adventure game coming in 2019. There's early access on Steam as well, early next year, and the author says, I'm not sure I know what Among Trees is, but damn does it look gorgeous. Announced with a short trailer at the Game Awards 2018, Among Trees is a, quote, survival sandbox adventure, end quote, set in a vibrantly coloured woodland full of critters. The trailer didn't show much beyond the striking art style, but the Among Trees website provides a bit more detail. It sounds similar to The Long Dark, but maybe without the harrowing sense of wintry dread. You get a cute cabin to settle into and expand and decorate that acts as a home base where you can craft and cook. You'll explore the surrounding woodland, can go fishing and have to, quote, stay stealthy so that you can avoid the wild, deadly beasts that roam the forest. Okay, so it sounds a lot like The Long Dark, but it's also really pretty. So let's have a look at this trailer. This kind of blew me away. Again, like the previous game, Sayonara on the Switch, it has this really, really awesome color scheme, a lot of greens and purples. That's my favorite color combo. As a creative person, I think about colors and design a lot. Let's have a look. Pre-alpha footage and represents a work in progress. Okay. Wow, look at that. That is just, it's jaw-droppingly beautiful. Absolutely stunning. A lot of lovely particle effects and has this kind of cell shaded effect, but it doesn't look like they're doing it just to free up the frame rate and graphical grunt of the system. It just looks like it was designed that way from the start, just for purely aesthetic reasons. I mean, that is jaw-dropping, isn't it? Lovely jubbly, mate. Music's on point as well, just a very great, tidy little teaser there. Coming on Steam. I wonder if that will come out for the major consoles. I hope so, because I would love to play that on my PlayStation or Xbox. Okay, so that's pretty much it for all the video game related news today. I'm quite excited about that. There were a lot of original titles, like I mentioned, so that's very, very positive news. There's a little bit of other news today, but I've talked quite a lot already, so let me just finish off today's news with something very weird. A seal has been spotted with an eel in its nose, and the seal looks very happy. Here it is. This is on valleycentral.com. I don't know how the fuck this seal got an eel up its nose, but according to a post on the Hawaiian Monk Seal Research Program's Facebook page, the phenomenon is not uncommon, having reported on such sightings several times over the years. They said their researchers have observed this phenomenon 3 or 4 times now. We don't know if this is just some strange statistical anomaly or if we'll see more eels in seals in the future. Well, let's just be glad that it went up its nose and not one of its other orifices. So that's about enough news for today. Let's talk about my life. So I've been practicing scratching a lot. I feel if you really want to be a DJ, you have to be able to scratch. That's what separates the men from the boys, because nowadays any old tosser can pick up the latest piece of DJ technology and automatically do their DJ mix at the touch of a button. But you know, one thing you cannot automate is scratching. So I have a God-given gift for DJing. I realized that when I was about 14 years old, and unsurprisingly, I have a gift for scratching as well. So within a week, I have learned how to do a pretty fair scratch. It's not at the level where I can make a public performance yet, but by the end of the month it will be. And I'm trying to dedicate a lot of my time learning to run before I can walk. I'm learning the crab. The crab is one of the most impressive looking DJ scratch maneuvers, and it is where you rest your thumb against the opposite side of the crossfader, and then on the other side you're hitting the crossfader with all of your fingers in a rapid motion, and you simply cannot make such a fast cutting rhythm with your wrist. Go da 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 da. It's super fast if you go like that. It's like a machine gun rapidity. So you can do it with 4 fingers, or you can do it with 3 fingers, or you can do it with 2. And I seem to find it easiest to do with 3, but it's so incredibly challenging to kind of be aware of how much pressure you're putting down on the crossfader with your thumb, and kind of trying to offset that with how hard you hit it with your fingers. Apparently you're supposed to do it in a relaxed sort of way, but I spent an hour this morning practicing it. So once I have my crab down, it's going to be game over. I'm going to try to reverse learn a few things. I've skipped some of the basic scratches, such as the transformer, which is another, probably the most famous scratch going, and I'm going to practice my chirps as well, so you can tell I'm already trying to bamboozle you with this scratching vocabulary, and I'm very proud to be able to talk about it, because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. In other news, I'm still waiting for my cables. If you're a regular on the show, you'll know that I've ordered $2,500 worth of cables for my system. This will allow me to play music out of the speakers and talk into this microphone at the same time, so you can watch my live shows in the studio where I'm making music, and I prefer to do it that way than actually playing my system audio, because if I play my system audio, you can sample sample it and steal what I do. But if I play it out of my speakers, you can't. And so basically, I'm waiting for these cables to come, and when they come, the Johnny Massacre show's possibilities will be expanded and you're going to get a lot better content. I'm also waiting to pull the trigger on my next piece of gear. I have enough money for the Manly Massive Passive, this beautiful valve equalizer, but I'm just chilling out, seeing what I'm going to do. My Manly Slam, my stereo limiter and mic pre is in for repair, and if they can't repair it, I'm going to order a mastering edition, which means I need to throw $3,000 on top of that. But if I get all of this gear together, it's going to be so disgusting. Hopefully I can get the core components of my studio by Christmas, and at that point I can release a ridiculous amount of music. I don't have to send it to mastering and waste money doing that. And often when you're faced with the decision of mastering a song, unless you super love the song and really feel it's going to be big, you probably won't release that song because you don't want to waste money on mastering. But having the mastering gear means I can release pretty much everything without having to worry about spending money on it. And so you're going to get a lot more experimental material that otherwise will probably be shelved for fear of wasting money on mastering it and not actually the song not actually being any good. So that probably makes no sense to you. I am a music production fanboy, but if it does and you made it this far, you've done an absolutely stellar job. So thanks again for tuning in today. I very much enjoyed making this show. Feels good to be back in the land of the living, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.